William Andrews Clark, Sr. was an American politician and entrepreneur involved with mining, banking, and railroads. Biography. Clark was born in Connellsville, Pennsylvania. He moved with his family to Iowa in 1856, where he taught school and studied law at Iowa Wesleyan College. In 1861 he became a Confederate soldier and abandoned his post in 1862 to follow his true calling, a miner, after working in quartz mines in Colorado. During 1863, Clark made his way to New Goldfields to find his fortune in the Montana Gold Rush. He settled in the capital of Montana Territory, Bannack, Montana, and began placer mining. Though his claim paid only moderately, Clark invested his earnings in becoming a trader, driving mules back and forth between Salt Lake City and the boom towns of Montana to transport eggs and other basic supplies. He soon changed careers again and became a banker in Deer Lodge, Montana. He repossessed mining properties when owners defaulted on their loans, placing him in the mining industry. He made a fortune with copper mining, small smelters, electric power companies, newspapers, railroads from Salt Lake City, Utah to San Pedro and Los Angeles, California, and other businesses, becoming known as one of three "Copper Kings" of Butte, Montana, along with Marcus Daly and F. Augustus Ainsay. Between 1884 and 1888, Clark constructed a 34-room, Tiffany-decorated home on West Granite Street, incorporating the most modern inventions available in Butte, Montana. This home is now the Copper King Mansion Bed and Breakfast and Museum. In 1899, Clark built the Columbia Gardens for the children of Butte. It included flower gardens, a dance pavilion, amusement park, lake, and picnic areas. He died March 2, 1925, and is interred in Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx, New York City. Political career. Clark served as president of both Montana state constitutional conventions in 1884 and 1889. Clark yearned to be a statesman and used his newspaper, The Butte Miner, to push his political ambitions. At this time, Butte was one of the largest cities in the West. He became a hero in Helena, Montana, by campaigning for its selection as the state capital instead of Anaconda. This battle for the placement of the capital had subtle Irish versus English, Catholic versus Protestant, and Masonic versus non-Masonic elements. Clark's long-standing dream of becoming a United States Senator resulted in scandal in 1899 when it was revealed that he bribed members of the Montana state legislature in return for the votes. At the time, U.S. senators were chosen by the respective state legislators. The corruption of his election contributed to the passage of the 17th Amendment. The U.S. Senate refused to seat Clark because of the 1899 bribery scheme, but a later Senate campaign was successful, and he served a single term from 1901 until 1907. In responding to criticism of his bribery of the Montana legislature, Clark is reported to have said, "I never bought a man who wasn't for sale." Clark died at the age of 86 in his mansion at 962 Fifth Avenue in New York City, one of the 50 richest Americans ever. In a 1907 essay, Mark Twain portrayed Clark as the very embodiment of Gilded Age excess and corruption. He is as rotten a human being as can be found anywhere under the flag. He is a shame to the American nation, and no one has helped to send him to the Senate who did not know that his proper place was the penitentiary, with a ball and chain on his legs. To my mind, he is the most disgusting creature that the Republic has produced since Tweed's time. Mark Twain's comments must be taken in context. He was a close friend of Henry H. Rogers, one of the organizers of the Amalgamated Copper Company to gain control of Butte's mines in opposition to Clark. Twain is not an unbiased observer. Family. Clark was married twice. His first wife was Catherine Louise Kate Stouffer. Together, they had 7 children: Mary Joaquina Clark, Charles Walker Clark, unnamed son, Jesse Clark, Catherine Louise Clark, William Andros Clark, Jr., Paul Francis Clark. After Kate's death in 1893, William married his second and final wife, the woman who had been his teenage ward, Anna Eugenia LaChapelle. They claimed to have been married in 1901 in France. Anna was 23 and William was 62. They had 2 children: Louise Amelia Andrea Clark, Huguette Marcel Clark. William Clark donated 135 acres to the Girl Scouts in honor of his daughter, Louise Amelia Andrea, who died aged 16 of meningitis and had been very happy there. The Girl Scout camp in Briarcliff Manor was named Camp Henry Clark. William Andros Clark, Jr. Clark's son, William Andros Clark, Jr., founder of the Los Angeles Philharmonic in 1919, left his library of rare books and manuscripts to the Regents of the University of California, Los Angeles. Today, the William Andros Clark Memorial Library specializes in English literature and history from 1641 to 1800, materials related to Oscar Wilde and his associates, and fine printing. Huguette Marcel Clark Huguette, born in Paris, France in June 1906, was known as a reclusive heiress and was the youngest child of Clark with his second wife, Anna Eugenia LaChapelle. She married once, but divorced less than a year later. She led a reclusive life thereafter, communicating very little with the public, including her extended family. She lived in 3 magnificent apartments, with a total of 42 rooms, on New York's Fifth Avenue at 72nd Street, overlooking Central Park. In 1991, she moved out of her apartment in New York and for the remainder of her life, voluntarily lived in various New York City hospitals. In February 2010, she became the subject of a series of reports on MSNBC.com after it was reported that the caretakers of her 3 residences had not seen her in decades. These articles were the basis for the 2013 best-selling book Empty Mansions: The Mysterious Life of Huguette Clark and the Spending of a Great American Fortune by investigative reporter Bill Dedman. Her final residence was Beth Israel Medical Center, where she died on the morning of May 24, 2011, age 104. Huguette's extraordinary collection of arts and antiquities were consigned to go on the auction block at Christie's in June 2014, over 3 years after her death. Clarkdale, Arizona. Clarkdale, Arizona, named for Clark, was the site of smelting operations for Clark's mines in nearby Jerome, Arizona. The town includes the historic Clark Mansion, which sustained severe fire damage on June 25, 2010. Clarkdale is home to the Verde Canyon Railroad Wilderness Train Ride, which follows the historic route that Clark had constructed in 1911, and home to the Copper Art Museum. Legacy. Clark's art collection was donated to the Corcoran Gallery in Washington, D.C. after his death, greatly enriching that museum's holdings of European as well as American art. The Clark donation also included the construction of a new wing for the Corcoran, known appropriately as the Clark Wing. The city of Las Vegas was established as a maintenance stop for Clark's San Pedro, Los Angeles and Salt Lake Railroad. He subdivided 110 acres into 1,200 lots, some of which on the corner of Fremont Street in Las Vegas sold for as much as $1,750. The Las Vegas area was organized as Clark County, Nevada, in Clark's honor.